Angelina Jolie walks by and says, "Oh my God, is that Two's Joe painting that house? Do you want to get married?" And we go, "Yeah, Angelina, yeah, I do." It is Tuesday, January the 8th, and Baller, happy National Best Friend Day. Thank you for being my best friend.
Thank you for being my best friend.
Today, we've got some exciting segments in what you may expect. Industry news, Two's Guys Explain Things. You got some messed up things. New segment. Can I get a new segment sound? Surprise with the Two's Guys, where we search the word surprise in our search bar.
Surprise me.
And read some surprise me. Apologies. Surprise me. Search surprise me in your Two's app search bar. Get a random list. Read some things from that list. Top Two's presents given or received. We're going to do the Wheeeeel Q&As. And then we're going to kick it all home with a little recap of the show. Industry news.
Yes.
Your best friend, Elon, is still looking for approval on his $56.5 billion pay package. It is going to a vote, and I believe that it'll make him the richest man in the world.
He's getting paid that?
$56.5 billion is what he's due. Your thoughts?
What is Tesla worth?
Tesla's market cap is $565 billion, so effectively 10% of Tesla's overall market cap.
I'm going to say it deserves it.
Deserves it. $56.5 billion. What would you do with $56.5 billion? What's the first thing you would do?
Hire someone to help me manage it.
Okay, smart. Industry news. Nvidia, now the world's second most valuable company, leapfrogging
Amazon? Microsoft?
Apple.
Fuck.
Apple.
What's number one?
I'm ready. So
Google A?
I've got a list. World's most valuable companies based on market cap.
Yeah.
So, Two's Baller.
Yes.
Your top 5.
Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Amazon?
Spot on. There it is. Literally 5 for 5. Microsoft, numero uno. Must be all those government contracts and just, being older.
Well, think about Apple. We think Apple is dominant, but most people don't have an Apple laptop. Outside of the US, nobody's rocking. I mean, not nobody, but most people.
Yeah, this be a good point. Industry news. Trump creates a TikTok account, having been on record that he would vote or approve of the ban of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this industry news makes me think? If you can't beat them, join them.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the people be watching short form content.
There's no doubt that he's not going to do well.
Do you support or oppose the ban
for TikTok? I don't know enough about the conflict with China, and China's involved with it.
I think I got some quick facts for you, some quick things.
Okay.
Thing number 1, ByteDance is a Chinese company.
Uh-huh.
Thing number 2, we have some pretty interesting relationships with China, similar to our relationships with Russia, where it's kind of like, you don't seem to like us, we don't seem to like you. We're all getting along so long as you don't do anything to piss us off and we don't do anything to piss you off.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, like a cold war. It's like a
we don't trust them, they don't trust us.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And we're competing. We're competing for top dog. So all companies under the Chinese umbrella are under government control.
Mm-hmm.
The USA would argue that ByteDance being owned by a Chinese entity means that they have access to all of the data for its American users. And so then therefore we're like, you gotta sell, ByteDance, you gotta sell TikTok to another foreign entity. And then we'll get down with the short form again. All right. Well, that is our industry news. You ready to explain some things?
I am.
Will you point at your shirt for us one more time? Things. The individual pieces of information that you write down in twos that are completely random that we will now explain because of how completely random they are.
You want me to go first?
Please.
Okay. Slight background, and then it's a long thing, so I apologize in advance.
I'm ready.
This is a thing from the book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Joe and I were both gifted a book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer from our friends Rob and Mike. And it's all about releasing yourself to the universe and what the universe has planned for you and just embracing it and going. But he wrote another book called The Untethered Soul. That is his most popular book. And this thing says, life is giving you a gift, and that gift is the flow of events that takes place between your birth and your death. These events are exciting, challenging, and create tremendous growth. To comfortably handle this flow in life, your heart and mind must be open and expansive enough to encompass reality. The only reason they're not is because you resist. Learn to stop resisting reality, and what used to look like stressful problems will begin to look like the stepping stones of your spiritual journey. Basically, you're getting in your own way. Just embrace what life has to offer, the challenges, the experiences, whatever it is. Keep that heart open, embrace everything, and it will make you a better person.
How are you keeping your heart open on a day-to-day basis?
Thinking about it and recognizing where I may be closed off and where I may be fearful, and just opening it up to be loving and accepting and understanding. This is new for me. It's an idea that I've heard of many times in the past, but I read that book, The Surrender Experiment, while on vacation. So it's like a new thought that I continue to repeat in my head, or like when I'm with people or whatever it may be, for only a couple weeks now.
Hey, I think it makes a lot of sense. The more that we've been talking about the Surrender Experiment and Michael Singer, the more it makes me think about a very similar character, Jim Carrey in Yes Man.
Okay. Yep.
You seen that movie?
Yep.
Don't close your heart off to any possibility. There's a chance that, waiting there for you on the opposite side of saying yes to people is, what changes your life. And I've actually experienced that myself. Saying yes leads to so much more adventure and, new experiences as compared to saying no, which I think is fear and comfort driven. Like, no, I don't want to help you paint your house because I want to sit inside and be air conditioned. But what if, me going and helping paint your house changes my perspective on community service and my relationship with those people? And then, Angelina Jolie walks by and says, "Oh my God, is that Two's Joe painting that house? Do you want to get married?" And we go, Angelina, I do.
You never know.
You never know. Oh, man. That's good.
What you got, Joey?
That's a good thing. Thank you for explaining that. 3 years ago today, on June the 8th, 2021, our biggest competitor, Post-it notes. Here's why I want to explain that thing. After having tested a lot of different softwares that I'm doing for this video that we're making, it comes to me that the most unique advantage of Twos is things. The breaking down of those individual pieces of information, whether they be a grocery item or an idea, you have the potential of running into those pieces of information that could literally change your life. Like, you could run into that Michael Singer quote when you're in a particularly bad mood, and then it could completely change your perspective on the day, week, month, year. So, similar to Post-it notes, you write individual pieces of information down. You put them where you're going to remember them, or like where you'll see them so that you can remember them. So it's not technologically driven. It's, physically driven. But I love the concept of being able to move the things that you write down on Post-it notes. I love the idea of putting them somewhere where you're going to remember them. I love the idea that they're colored. Our biggest competitor, Post-its. 3 years ago, I was on that. So big Post-it, we're coming for you. That's the Twos Guys Explain Things. I feel like we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
You ready to talk about some messed up things?
Yeah.
So for our segment, You've Got Some Messed Up Things, we search a keyword in our twosApp.com because we've written a lot of things down. Baller, can I get an update on how many things you've written down?
206,000. 453
You did something recently that sent your thing count into was I always 100,000 things behind you?
I don't know.
So you've got some messed up things.
Yeah.
We search one of our hundreds of thousands of things for a keyword that could potentially be controversial, and we read some things associated with that keyword. Today's keyword is awkward. This one's hitting TJ in the face. Silence is fine. Embrace it. The devil will tell you it's awkward, but it's actually peaceful.
I love that. I don't know if that's a messed up thing. I think that's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Can I read a beautiful thing?
Yes, please.
November 26, 2021. Nobody cares about what you do. They love you for you. They love you for who you are. We get in our own heads about being weird, being awkward. The truth is, none of it matters. We're all doing our best. We're all doing our best, and we're all trying to do our best.
New segment. Surprise me. See, surprise with the twos guys rolls off the tongue. That's why I want it to be surprise with the twos guys. It can still be called surprise with the twos guys.
Yeah.
The segment is called surprise with the twos guys.
And then what do? We read one thing?
We read one thing as we surprise ourselves. Surprise! From the twos guys. Your South Carolina Gamecocks played versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for New Year's Eve in 2022, December 31st, 2022. And so Twos Joe wrote down all of my expenses so that I could split it with my amigos. Where are you writing those things down? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe Apple Notes. Maybe you make a note for that. Maybe you get a Post-it.
Sure.
But what I especially love about this is I've got my Target plus ABC Liquor receipt. I've got the Mexican restaurant that we went to. I've got the tickets that I bought. I've got the gambling that we lost. And I have the total. So total spent $1,194, and I've collected $866, which means somebody owes me $300, or they're getting their knees taken out with a lead pipe.
Don't mess with Twos Joe.
I guess I just explained a lot of things from my surprise.
It's all right. We'll allow it.
But yeah, expenses. Writing down things as they're happening for what people owe you, and also providing the memories from such a phenomenal trip. Last thing about this list that I find extremely exciting and fun. It is an expenses sublist that sits inside my Cox versus Catholics plus New Year's Eve list, which has all of the Airbnb info, all of the to-dos, just some really cool memories from New Year's Eve 2022.
That's dope. Very dope. I stumbled on Johnny Crowder Cope Notes list.
Whoa.
So we have a friend named Johnny Crowder. He started a company called Cope Notes.
Shout out.
That is very much so for mental health with text messages.
Yep.
But the one thing that I want to read is there's a difference between prevention and medication. Cope Notes is prevention. I just think that's an important thing to be aware of in a country where people take a lot of medication. There is a difference. Prevention is the better alternative than just taking more and more drugs.
I like that.
To not help things.
I like that a lot.
And this list has a few different things that Johnny Crowder has said to me, and I just jotted them down, and he's a smart, thoughtful person.
Power.
So yeah, I just wanted to share that one.
Can you read one of those things?
Well, that was one of them. Another one is you can't have anonymous sharing between hurt people because hurt people hurt people.
Great surprises. All right, let's get into our top twos. But before we do that, let's kick it over to Twos Joe at Twos HQ for the Wheeeeel. Twos Joe? Thanks, Twos Joe. I'm back in Twos HQ for the Wheeeeel. And for this week's episode of the Wheeeeel, we're going to be giving away a Twos sticker pack. But for next week's Wheeeeel, we're going to be giving away a Twos hoodie. So make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to engage with us on social media. Make sure to send this to a friend to give yourself more chances of winning a Twos hoodie next week's episode of the Wheel. So let's get straight into it. 3, 2, 1. Pretty good spin. This week's winner of a Twos sticker pack is Boatsy Lockhart. Congratulations, Boatsy. You comment on a lot of our videos. We can't appreciate you enough, so we'll make sure to get in touch with you for your prize. Thank you guys so much. Back to you, Twos Joe. And we're back.
Wow.
Congratulations to... Wow, I don't even know who I'm going to put on this wheel.
Nino, another winner?
Nino. Good glory, Miss Lori. Nino.
We know he deserves it.
Speaking of wheel stuff, shout out the Twos guys for making 2 fun new merch items. The Things That Matter backpack, which I'm going to edit into my hand right now. Things That Matter backpack. And the Future Twoser onesie.
Yeah.
I really like the Future Twoser onesie.
Those are great. Those are both great.
Top twos. Presents received. Rockin', paperin', and scissorin'. Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Rock, paper, scissor, shoot. Wow!
It's a lot to think about. Once you get that deep, you're just like, all right.
What's going on here? Yeah. You're trying to run like a statistical analysis on like all of the different... Put in that gif of the kid with the numbers floating around. Like when the Twos guys get deep into a rock, paper, scissor.
It was Zach Galifianakis.
Baller.
Right?
My
number one
present received.
I think my favorite gift I've ever received was Xbox 360 for my birthday one year.
That's a good one.
That's what it was.
It's actually also extremely topical because my favorite gift that I've ever received was a GameCube.
All right. I was going to maybe say Nintendo 64.
That I got for, guess what? My birthday.
Let's go.
Which also just so happens to be Christmas.
Yep.
So therefore, I always kind of got, the half wrapped in Christmas paper, half wrapped in birthday paper.
That was a birthday one?
It was a bothy.
Okay.
If it was over $200, it'd be a bothy.
Okay.
Always.
All right.
Always.
That's sick.
My number 2's gift that I've ever received. And this is not for the cameras. This is real freaking life. Drake tickets by Twos Baller.
Wow. You didn't even get to go.
We didn't even get to go. You want to know why that was one of my favorite
bro.
gifts that I've ever received?
Why?
It was so personally significant and so unexpected that I was like floored with your generosity. I was extremely I feel like the only people I've really ever received gifts from are my parents. Parents, grandparents, an occasional here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that really stands out. But for your homie to go out of their way to be like, yo, I want to concert with you at one of our favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different convo.
Dead.
It's a whole different emotional reaction.
I wish we could reverse time and go to that concert together.
Shout out Jack Stevens for just having to get married. Like, what a dork, honestly. But in the same vein, honestly, it's the thought that counts, and I really mean that. Attitude of gratitude. I was there, whether you know it or not.
It was sick.
Yeah, your number 2's?
My number 2's my green water bottle.
Wow. Hydro flask. Wow. Wow.
You know I love that thing.
Xbox 360 Hydro Flask. Does it hit all the marks for you? Does it have everything that you need it to have? Simple, size,
color. The color was perfect. I use that thing more than anything besides my computer.
Yeah.
This was a gift to myself, though.
Yeah.
Just for being great.
Shout out.
I mean, what do I use more than that?
Nothing.
So, I've received a lot of great gifts, but that's just one that...
That is a really solid gift.
The color, I mean, my favorite color is green, so that meant a lot to me.
If you ever see Twos Baller in person, give him a cup of water. He will
slam it on spot.
He will really love it. If you give Baller, it's kind of like if you give a mouse a cookie. If you give Baller a cup of water,
yeah,
that actually would be a good book. Should we write a children's book if you give Baller a cup of water? It kind of rolls too.
I like the prompt.
I like it a lot too. All right, well, we're on to our Q&A segment, and Baller, we don't have any Q's.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no A's.
All right.
Do you have any questions for me? Classic host tactic.
When can we expect the next webinar?
Wow, that is a great question. Why not like ASAP?
I like the webinars. I think that a cool idea could be just QA with the twos guys, where we just do a live Q&A.
Just hang.
Yeah, do a live stream Q&A.
I like that. All right. Well, that is the National Best Friend episode of Twos Talk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, send it to a friend, and we will add you to next week's Wheeeeeel. And until next time, Twos out.
Twos out.